Welcome everybody to the very first episode of Bob Picks 5. It'll be a monthly installment where I do a top 5 list of things gaming related, movie related, and possibly comic related, but I don't really have that yet. I'm starting to read them, but we'll see. So without further ado, the first one that I will be doing will be the top 5 Nintendo games of my childhood. Let's roll it. First up on the docket, we have Donkey Kong 64. Donkey Kong 64 was the first 3D N64 game I ever truly experienced. When other people were playing Mario 64, I was playing this, and I was grooving out to all the beats that were in it. I'm a little embarrassed to say that I never beat the game by myself. There were a couple of times where my buddy had rented a copy, and it had come pre-beaten almost, and we would just play around in the essentially free-for-all mode because that's exactly what it was. It was one of the first open-world games that I had ever truly played. Scratch that, it is the first open-world game I ever truly played. It was also one of the first games to make use of the N64's expansion pack, and it came with the expansion pack packaged with the game, so you didn't have to go out and find another peripheral that you might need. It was also one of the very first collectathons. That's why I made the list outside of Mario 64 and things like Banjo-Kazooie, because I didn't actually own those games growing up. What can I say that hasn't already been said about Nintendo 64's Podracing? Except for the fact that it was the first game I ever played on a home console. I don't mean like a home console at a friend's house. I mean this is the first game that I truly ever owned as a person. Much like the case of when I was playing Donkey Kong 64 on my home console. I never really understood this game as a child, so as such, I didn't actually beat it myself. I believe the copy that I got was used because it did have Sebulba unlocked, and it's not like I really understood the concept of a racing game anyway. I believe I was just playing the easiest races, much like I did with Gran Turismo on the PS1, because you only have so many games you can play before you have to go to bed as a child. So this was one that I played from probably sun up to sundown, just winning races as Anakin, because I wanted to be as close to the Star Wars experience as possible. Get ready for a shocker here, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't actually own this game either, but it is probably the main game that me and my buddy Zach, the other person on this channel, played a ton of growing up. Whether it was playing the mini games together or getting stuck in a Parish song standoff with Lapras and Politoed, this game brings back some crazy good memories for me. It truly just harkens back to an easier time in my life, back when barbecues were the most exciting thing ever, and the most stressful thing that I had to do was a math book every single night. So whenever I look back on these memories of playing Pokemon Stadium 2 for hours and hours on a Saturday morning to the Saturday afternoon, and then transferring it into the evening, so what do you get a kid who is really into video games when they're 5 to 8 years old? You get them Duke Nukem 3D. You know, the game where it's like the first 5 minutes, you literally get a voice saying, "It's ass kicking time." It really is hard to describe how excited I was once I saw the blood and the gore. I mean, as a kid, you're really like shunned away from that stuff in movies. So to go in and play a game where you are the action hero, it really is a lot of eye-openingness for a child. This game really drove the bus for what I would then use as like a measurement for good gaming. Don't mess around, you guys all knew it was coming. Of course, number 1 has to be Ocarina of Time. There are very few people who I knew when I was a kid that didn't have this game, let alone people who I knew that owned it but hadn't had it beaten. Even after I had learned how to beat this game, every time I go back to it, I'm always very confused about how much I actually forget. And I don't mean just missing like the gold spiders / Skulltulas. I mean actual boss strategies that I just cannot remember for the life of me. There's just too much to this game. Not too much in a bad way, mind you. Just too much, and that is why it is in my number 1 slot. If people who know me now think I play a lot of World of Warcraft, they don't know me as a kid. I played a ton of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And that is it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Don't